everybody. This is Dalton Young with the Honest Providers podcast and founder of Honest Care Systems. And today I'm with Elizabeth Morrison of Creative Solutions Coaching, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself and what she's got going on.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I am a licensed therapist in Texas. I also work as a coach and a consultant, and I am the founder of Creative Solutions Coaching. I came into this work because I've always been drawn to the why behind behavior. So I'm really excited to tell you all what I do and learn a little bit more about what I can bring to the table.
Awesome. And I love that you have both the clinical expertise as well as all the professional expertise surrounding the clinical side, right? So I guess before we get into that, what really inspired you to get into this the behavioral health sort of side of things, or counseling in general?
There have been that why for behavior. So I'm interested in systems, how systems work. So people and their system, how they work, and how they work within other systems as well. So especially that lens between the person and the institutions in our world has been really a critical spot for me. So that has part of been why I've moved from as much therapy work into a little bit more of the consulting, the training, and really being more systems aware in my approach to things.
Absolutely. Was there a defining moment that sort of got you into say, hey, I want to get into the therapy space or the systems space in general?
Really, what inspired me was working with adults who for years felt misunderstood. Especially like the neurodivergent adults, their caregivers, people in professional jobs, oftentimes that looked high functioning, and they would go to therapy after therapy, trying to figure out what was going on, get a little bit of relief in their life in between the systems that weren't changing around them and modalities that were mismatched to their neurotype. It was a real struggle. They came out feeling like they were a failure oftentimes. And that was really the big aha for me, that we need a bigger solution to this. We need to work on the systems as much as the people.
Absolutely. You can't really, and I know we spoke about this briefly before, but, as much as we, clinicians strive to provide good care or great care, but without the right systems, it really, in today's world of technology and just overall all the requirements that are levied against clinicians and the agencies or businesses that they work for, it all has to blend together in order to have a full sort of complete picture of care. So with that said, I know you offer services, and I believe you offer resources as well.
Absolutely. So I've got a lot of digital downloads that, again, for individuals, for clinicians, and for organizations, all the way from some management and leadership tools when they are working with neurodivergent adults, to those neurodivergent adults figuring out how to navigate within these systems that are complex and oftentimes have expectations that are mismatched to the capacity of those involved.
Definitely. It's a very broad spectrum of resources that you have. I spent a while looking at your website before we jumped on here just to see a little bit more about what exactly you do. And for anybody watching this, if you really want to explore what Elizabeth does in her coaching, jump on her website. What was your website again? What was the domain?
It is www.creativesolutionscoaching.com.
Definitely. Okay. Yeah. So go on there and check out the resources as well as some of the other information, because it'll really help you understand exactly what Elizabeth does outside of what we're talking about here today. I know there's a lot of...
I've also got a blog. Sorry to interrupt. I've also got a blog on there. January was talking about interfacing with AI, how we can use it responsibly and safely if we need to and if we want to, on the mental health side and on the organizational side of things, how we can protect employees who may be using AI within companies as well. And next month, I'll be turning that to mixed neurotype couples for February and talking a little bit more about how they can work together in the systems that we have as well.
Awesome. You see a lot of AI, not only is there AI, but there's also, safe clinical practices around AI. And you see a lot of tools, for example, like therapy notes. I don't know if you're familiar with therapy notes, but they rolled out recently. They have their AI implementation, and other EHRs have their, when we're writing notes and stuff like that, there's different AIs that are built into the platforms now, as well as
Mhm.
everyday clinicians who are using Chat GPT and stuff like that. And staying HIPAA compliant has to live in that realm. So staying inside the
Exactly.
EHR is a much safer environment, right, than putting all your
Mhm.
on Chat GPT, because that information is in fact public and can be in fact sold to the public, or
Right.
sold externally. So it's not necessarily secure. So what is your takes on AI
Mhm.
exactly? What have you seen? I'm just curious at this point.
It is here. So I'm a big tech nerd. So beyond kind of the back alley stuff of things, it's here. It's something that can be useful if we know what it is and we know how it works.
Hmm.
AI is not magic. It is right now language generation. So it often will predict the next compliance that you would like. It predicts the next pleasing answer
Hmm.
for you. So it doesn't even always go off of our prompts. It can go off of old chats. It can go off of exactly what we're doing right now. But oftentimes, knowing how to prompt it correctly to get safe answers and how to know when it is causing some drift so that our behaviors don't start to drift along with it as well. And as clinicians, it really is on us to understand these new technologies so we can make sure that we're helping with our clients to support them and to make sure that they're using them safely.
Absolutely. That's one of those challenges that a lot of people get into this space. And it's so, everything you learn is, primarily focused on care, right? And
Hmm.
how to do your job essentially. But what they don't really dive into is how to adapt and adjust with the tech, especially as fast as it's changing nowadays. And
Yep.
that's such a critical part of any therapist or anybody in the healthcare space these days, right? Is to learn how to interact and
Hmm.
interact with things like artificial intelligence or new and developing tools, because the demand on clinicians is higher than ever. The workload's higher than ever. A lot of automations are coming into place, which is downsizing the workforce. So it's putting more stress and burnout on clinicians. And then, with that said,
Hmm.
the amount of time that they're being allowed to complete notes or to, be,
Hmm.
everything's getting it's like the attention span is getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yes, yes. And that's why being systems aware can, one, really help to ensure that you are protecting your clients, and two, help to reduce the strain and effort on the clinician side as well. To be realistic, there are so many restrictions and there are so many different ways that are expected to be upheld all through the documentation process and the client care and the aftercare process as well. And it can be incredibly daunting, especially on that administrative side, because that's not something that we go over quite as much in school. So, you know, we do what is a SOAP note versus a DAP note, but exactly how to phrase clinically compliant notes so that it's protective of our clients, but that we get paid when we need to as well. Knowing what services are covered and how to bill for those services, knowing what needs to be included in a note or in a treatment plan, remembering to keep up with all of those, it is a whole lot. And understanding how the system works and finding tools that can really adapt that system to how you work is a whole lot easier than trying to adapt yourself to that system.
Absolutely. You have to know a little bit about not only your job, but a little bit about everybody else's. Like even something simple as every year changes in CPT codes, right? Just
Hmm. Hmm.
always evolving, and it's trying to stay compliant and then trying to keep up with all the adjustments both at a state level, a federal level, and of course inside an organization or agency. So it's always
Hmm.
changing. But as a clinician yourself or a coach yourself, if you could give
Hmm.
advice to clinicians, providers, families, whoever, if you could give like one piece of sort of lasting advice that you feel like you could stick with that you've stuck with like your whole entire career, what would that be?
Collect your pennies. That is a phrase that my clients and my friends will hear me say a lot is collect your pennies. It is the micro choices in the everyday. At some point, if we get a chance to topple the systems and have freshness in our institutions, have them helping us out a little bit more, I might have a different answer for you. But for right now, it is, instead of asking yourself, why won't people just try harder? Why can't I just try harder? Start asking, what is making this hard right now? And how can I, from that systems approach, start to let the systems match me and find systems that do work for me? There's nothing wrong with struggling. And if we can reduce that shame, that is where the change really comes in. If we're walking around thinking we should be doing something else, we should be stronger, we should be better, we're not going to get a whole lot out of ourselves. But if we can find where our strengths actually lie in the systems that are useful to us, that and those micro choices coupled together really make vast changes in our lives. Adds up to dollars, and eventually you've got a pretty stocked bank account.
Love it. There's a lot of clinicians and even providers or owners who are going through this every day. It's like what they keep you can only handle so much, and it's not always necessarily about the next hire. Burnout is eventual if you don't put the systems in place to sustain the growth, or in some cases the reduction, which is causing that stress. So the stressors are sometimes a good thing and sometimes a bad thing. But they usually, if you're experiencing stress, it's identifying a need for potentially a system or a change. So I agree with you completely on that. Something has to give. You're going to keep going in that same cycle, and you'll run out of runway.
Exactly that.
Love it. So, if you could see one thing change, we talk a lot about ethical care, honest care. There's a lot of providers out there who, we have to take care of ourselves in order to take care of other people, right? But even that said, there's still a lot of folks out there who maybe don't live inside the realm of honest and ethical care. So what, in your opinion, what would you say is what one thing that you love maybe that makes someone an honest and ethical provider?
Authenticity. And I don't mean in the branded way. Oftentimes, especially with the times that we are in social media, authenticity is more of a brand than it is what we have been knowing it to be all of these years. But authenticity is really those moments where you feel at one with yourself. And as woo-woo as that might sound, those are really peaceful moments where you are mind and body all in one place and all in the place that you're experiencing now. Those can be hard to find. And again, when you get them, collect those pennies up and they will start to add up for you.
Love it. Yeah, it's one of those things you have to, again, be not just be authentic, but be yourself. You have to speak from the heart and not necessarily, because a lot of times we have thoughts like, hey, I feel this way, but then you see the industry or you see your peers and you contour what you were going to say or do around what sort of still pleases everybody. So it brings you some peace, but not full peace, right? I love the authenticity part, authenticity, transparency. That's something big that we stand on at Honest Care Systems is how can we do this as transparent and authentically as possible? Because ultimately we want to treat others how that we'd want them to treat us, right? I mean, it sounds very elementary to say that, but it's true, even as adults. So
there's a reason we teach our kids that.
Yep, exactly. Teaching the foundations. And a lot of times we get so busy in our careers and our businesses and clinical stuff that we forget the foundation. And sometimes just stepping back, taking care of ourselves, remembering the foundation is key to success.
I think oftentimes, sorry.
No, you're good.
I think oftentimes clinicians will get in a place where they think that it is to disclose too much when they are being authentic. And those are very different things. And they both have context in session at different times, depending on what is going on in that session. But they are different things. You can show up very authentically and not have it be self-disclosure, not make the session about you. There are ways to show that authenticity. And I can tell you, it's well received oftentimes. When you are, as the clinician, able to be more authentic, it brings a sense of felt safety into the room. The clients can feel that. That felt safety translates into motivation and change for them. They can be their authentic selves, and that's where that change starts to grow.
A lot of a lot of patients, or this, whatever the situation is, a lot of people come in, and that being vulnerable, especially if it's men, I'm just speaking for myself there, but that vulnerability is difficult to sort of obtain, especially when you're having a conversation with someone who you may not feel is reciprocating that vulnerability, or even though they may understand it, if they're being too corporate and very, if they keep a wall up, it's hard to bring your wall down. And again, without divulging your personal life, there's still a way to be authentic and express that, maybe not your vulnerabilities, but that you understand vulnerability and you experience it too, because we all do. And we all have our challenges. So that seeing eye to eye becomes a really big piece of that care. So
yes. And it does require us as the clinicians to find ways to be vulnerable without holding someone else account to be with us in that vulnerable state. That is our vulnerability to hold, and we can hold ours and hold the clients at the same time. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of due diligence in learning that, but it really is about being able to hold that vulnerability for ourselves and for our clients at the same time.
absolutely. Looking back, it's I'm not sure how long you've been doing this, but obviously you're not a beginner. So with that said, looking back at your career, what is something that you'd be most proud of?
I think I would be most proud that I didn't shrink into fit the broken systems,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm built framework, I built systems and language that work for people.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably the thing that I will be most proud of.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it's easy to fit the mold due to pressure, due to stress, due to everything in between, and again, keeping your voice, staying true to yourself, like we've talked about already. Those that's really the key takeaway, is being true to yourself. Elizabeth, if someone wanted to connect with you, where would be? I know we talked earlier about your website, but you can drop it again. But where would people find you?
The best place would be my website. It's got everything there. I just updated it not long ago, so it should be easy to navigate. There you're going to find the digital resources, the blog, and a whole bunch of other stuff there as well. And that's at www.creativesolutionscoaching.com. They can also find me with Creative Solutions Coaching on most of the social medias. So I'm on Instagram and TikTok and all of the others as well.
Fantastic. Well, again, Elizabeth, I appreciate you taking the time to jump on here, share a little bit about what you do and how you're transforming the care industry. So I appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.